one word, what do you live for?
Freedom. Life for me started in chaos. Just because of one event that completely changed the trajectory of my life.
You don't experience positive emotion except in relationship to a goal. No goal, no positive emotion.
This one is for you, Dad. My life started in chaos. One event that completely changed the trajectory of my life. The loss of my father when I was 3 years old. I only know secondhand of what kind of man he was. And for years I've been trying to fill this gap with anything that I thought that could fill it. And I bear this emptiness ever since. Every day I woke up and I wanted to search for this new dopamine hit, like either smoking weed with my friends or going to party. I really felt trapped because I couldn't like come out. I was in a loophole. I couldn't get out of this loophole. Like thinking that every day was my last and then doing every day to make the best out of it. But was it really the best?
You're making me cry.
Yo, Rakim, what's up? Yo, I'm doing the knowledge, E, man. I'm trying to get paid in full.
My father had his own business back in my hometown in the village where I grew up. And when I was already 13 years old, I started hustling on school. Not even because I wanted to make money, because I just liked the thrill of it. I started buying snapbacks, beanies, like earphones to sell in my high school. And I actually became quite successful. As a 13-year-old kid, I made around like 500 euros a month. So that was a lot for that time.
What's one principle you try to live by every day?
To always take one step forward. And what do I mean by that? Like either pushing myself to do something that benefits me. I think that's always something that I try to live by. What is the principle you live by every day? And eventually when I was 16 years old, I created an Instagram store with one of my best friends. It was called Fresh Blue and it became quite a success. And that's also the moment that my life kind of changed. So by the time I was 18, like I had this freedom. Like 2 days after my birthday, I got my own car. So I created a lot of freedom for myself. But this freedom created also a lot of, that's actually where a lot of the bad habits were coming from. First it was kind of innocent with just starting to smoke cigarettes. I started smoking weed every day. But after a while, like it just became a habit. And I started to chase these highs and these dopamine kicks day in, day out. I became really heavy, like you could say obese. I lost my driver license as well because of smoking weed. I lost my relationship back then and I just completely messed up my life. I was worth nothing. I was only ashamed of who I was at that period and the things that I was doing. I was ashamed of myself. But then something happened that for most of the people was a curse, but a blessing for me. And that was COVID hit. I had to stand still and look inwards. And I started reading, based on recommendation, it was Master Your Mindset. It really showed me that everything that I did was a result of the actions that I took and the decisions that I made back in the days. And quite quickly I started to fill the silence with good habits like reading books, doing some meditation, reflecting, cold showers. It wasn't an overnight transformation, it was just a slow and kind of awkward attempt of creating respect for myself. I always had this pain and anger inside me to make something of my life, to become a successful entrepreneur, to make the most out of it. But that purpose was really selfish. And now, when I kind of reached the beginning of this success, becoming an entrepreneur, running a successful business, I feel like my real purpose is made for something bigger than just myself. What is your life purpose?
It was one of the worst performances I've seen in my life. I couldn't sleep last night because I felt this shit.
I was drowned actually in information and all the self-help gurus on the internet. And that's actually the moment when I found stoicism. This philosophy gave me a mental framework to live life. It gave me a way of living with fulfillment. It helped me realize that I should not always face my energy outwards, but think about the things that I can control, about my thoughts, my actions, the decisions, on a day-to-day basis to create a better version of myself and with that a better version of life. Stoicism really helped me to give me the mental models to think in the right way, especially because my own mental model that I created in all these years was completely messed up. Doing the things on a day-to-day basis to create the design and life that I wanted, I created a lot of options for myself. In 2022, I got the opportunity to study abroad in New York, in Manhattan. I live next to the Empire State Building. After that, I choose to go and work for a Swiss crypto company, which actually completely stagnated my growth, my personal development. This resulted in me looking somewhere else. I started doing Google Ads freelancing, and that's actually where I met Jasper. He needed my services and he said like, hey, what if I bring leads and close the leads and you do the fulfillment? Let's see if we can do something together. First, this all started out as like a profit share thing where we just both share the profits. We started generating quite a lot of money. We set the goal like if we do more than 30K revenue, then we can really turn this into a real company, and we did. And that's actually where Icarus Agency evolved. In 2024, we started hiring, building a team with real people, real systems, and a real culture. Like I did these hustling things before in the past, but not working with people, working with legal structures, working with other partners. We made mistakes that cost us more than 100,000 euros. And these lessons helped me brought to the next level. It helped me to shape myself more as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. And also one of the big lessons that I learned during this period is to lead for a team and not lead for myself. And that actually changed everything. Now I live in Madeira with my beautiful girlfriend and my dog. We live in an amazing house. It's something that I dreamt of back in my bedroom in my parents' house during COVID, sitting alone with my notebook. If you've ever felt like me or just trying to escape your reality, I hope I could inspire you to take control of your reality and make the most out of it. This one is for you, Dad.